that yet. I haven't woven in the ends yet. I made this back in October. It is the middle of January. Alright, I'm gonna go through every sweater that I made in 2023. This is just a fraction of them. I have so much more to go through. Okay, so here's the thing. I had this other idea for this week's video. It's a vest, it's over there. I ran out of time. Mainly because I made a cardigan for my dad's birthday and that also was gonna be a YouTube video. And then I realized I didn't have that much time and I could not keep stopping and filming little updates and everything. I had to get it done. It's done. He loves it. I'm moving on. So now I'm just gonna go through just the sweaters. Not all the projects I made in 2023, just all the sweaters that I made in 2023. And I think I made one vest. So we'll also include that one vest in this thing. I'm gonna go in order of the first thing I made this year to the last thing I made this year. I also need my phone so I can go through my Instagram and remember, okay, this is from January, this is February, etc. First thing I made was this. If you watched my last video, which was the temperature blanket of 2023, where I filmed something for every single month and then compiled it all together. I had made this and I'm like, oh, if only I had thrifted a red shirt to go with it because I think the red would look really good. Well, guess what I did? And I actually have 2 red shirts now. Another thing that I would like to do with this little video is go over things that I loved about certain things and some things that I'm like, I will make those changes in the future and never do it again. This was the Valentine's Day vest that I made last year. These straps are actually, I feel a little bit too long. I feel like they could have been shorter and I feel like they were the right length until I added these cuffs on, like the trim, and I love the trim detail. It's really good. I just wish the trim detail had ended up here because it kind of goes around my shoulder and I just don't like how that feels. But I really do like the colors. I really like how I did the sides of it. Like, it's a good sweater vest. And I'm actually making another sweater vest right now. I'm gonna make sure that I take an account, don't make the arm, like the shoulders that big, because I can always just add ribbing and make it longer if I need to, but I can't make it shorter if like that's that without taking like the whole thing apart. Really do like how I put this collar up here, so it worked out. I really do like this. It's just a little weird there. Also, my hair is just gonna progressively get crazier and crazier because I'm trying things on and taking things off. Next up, this thing. This was with that Hobie Friends of Cotton yarn. The cotton yarn, I have to say, is beautiful to work with. It is soft. It's like crocheting like butter. If you've crocheted with sugar and cream, that cotton yarn, night and day. Like that stuff, don't like crocheting with it. It is too stiff. I just don't like it. Crocheting with the sugar and cream is like crocheting with hay, and crocheting with this is like crocheting with silk. This is my very first Hexagon cardigan. It's where you make the 2 sides and then you fold them, stitch them, and then you put them both together. So you can see right here down the middle, that's where I joined the 2 sides together. Really love these colors. I just think I made it a little too oversized because I have not worked with this yarn before, nor have I made a Hexagon sweater or cardigan before I made this one. So it is a little big, but I absolutely love it. I think it's really cute. And it is a little heavy because of the cotton yarn. Am I wearing this inside out? I'm wearing it inside out. There we go. Sometimes I cannot tell if it's inside out or right side out. I can't tell unless it's like a tapestry project. Then I know which way I'm wearing it. But other than that, I don't know. But it looks the same. It looks the same. This was also one of those sweaters that I tried to fix. I didn't like the collar, so then I made this collar, but this little thing, it just doesn't want to stay down, and it's because I have to like sew it down, and I haven't done it yet. This is the Fallout Boy sweater that I made. I think I did a really good job with this. Like, the circle looks like a circle because sometimes crocheting a circle doesn't always work out the way you want it to. This is also the project that I got super frustrated with Bernat yarn because I bought all the yarn. I didn't look at the dye lots because I'm like, what's a dye lot? I don't need to know that. It's the same company, it's the same color, it's the same yarn. No, it is not. No, it is not. And I found that out too late. Somewhere around here, there is a color difference, and I can't see it right now, which is a good thing. But when I was working on it, I'm like, because what ended up happening is I did this whole thing, and then I realized that one of the blacks on one of the sides was not the same black as the other side. And I was not gonna take all this work done, like apart. No. Okay, right here. It's literally right here. This down is like an off-gray kind of charcoal black, and then this one up here is like a midnight black. I don't know if you can really see that. I can, and it drives me nuts. But other than that, I think this turned out pretty good. You know, this pattern is on my Patreon. I should probably start saying that. This one here is actually one of my favorite crocheted items that I've made in 2023. I love how bright it is. I love the checkerboard. This is actually the first project where I did this cute little pointed collar. I sewed it down. It's perfect. I love it. It's so cute. It is like a little bit tight, but it's fine. I think this is tied for second. There's one that is my all-time favorite one, which we'll get to. This one is tied for second with another one. So there's like three that are like my top three we'll get through. I remember when I first made it, I wanted to wear it every single day because it was one of my favorite projects at the time. Still is. I like the length of it. I also like the ribbing, how I didn't make it super tight. Usually for the ribbing, I really cinch it in, but because I didn't make this super wide, I didn't have to cinch it in a lot, which works for me. But yeah, I think this is just such a cute sweater. It's just the checkerboard pattern, and I think it's in half double crochet, so it's a very easy one. I know I still have to make a pattern for my Patreon, which I will get to eventually. You know, I got so many projects going on right now. Okay, I forgot about this one here. I don't have the right red sweater that I was wearing earlier. The one had a leaf on it, and I threw it somewhere, and I remembered this like right at the end of the video. So I'm just going back to quickly show you this. This is actually my very first Hexagon t-shirt thing that I made. I did do a video where it's black and white, and then I revealed the colors, so I will reveal the colors to you. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If not, I'm going to be revealing the colors to you in 3, 2, 1. It is these colors. I actually thrifted these colors because I kept thinking to myself, Michelle, why would you pick these colors? Because I thrifted the yarn for super cheap. That is why I did it. It's kind of giving more like 1950s kind of house coat. It's not bad. It's just the sleeves are a little bit too long, and I did make those adjustments in other projects. This one is just not really my favorite. Haven't worn it. Haven't really done anything with it. That's why I forgot I had it. That's pretty much all I can say about this. This also was the Hobie yarn, and it was the Friends of Cotton, but it was the thinnest Friends of Cotton yarn, which I probably shouldn't have done. And what I had to do is I had to double up the yarn, so it's a little heavier than I would have liked it to be, but it would have taken me forever if I didn't double up the yarn. This one is actually really cute. I do like it. I've worn it a few times. Again, I just wear it with like a t-shirt underneath it, not so much a long sleeve. If you watched my other video, early fall, late summer, and I was actually going through all of the clothes that I had made and figure out why I wasn't wearing them and why I didn't like it, and this was one of them. This was the one where I actually had made the sleeves separate and then attached them. I didn't like how the seam was. You could definitely tell it wasn't seamless. It was like, okay, you attached it right here, and it was just a little off. So what I had done is I had taken those sleeves off and I had redone them. So these panels were like the back panel and the front panel were attached, and then what I did is I just did around and around and around. I crocheted it right onto the front and back panels. Made a difference. That's what I will do going forward if I ever make another one of these. I think it's really cute. I did make a matching hat. Where that hat is, I don't know. First off, is not crocheted, which you probably can look at and be like, Michelle, you did not crochet that. You're right, I did not crochet that. It is knitted, but I used my knitting machine. But also there is some crochet elements, like I crocheted the cuffs, I crocheted the bottom, and I crocheted this really cute collar. I really love how this turned out. It's so pretty. I haven't worn it that much just because that plasticky smell is still on here. And here's the thing, I did actually buy wool yarn soap to clean it with, and I just haven't done it yet. This one here I did on the knitting machine. I made a front panel, a back panel, 2 sleeves. Love the knitting machine. I need to use it more. Unfortunately, if you know anything about a knitting machine, there's a thing called a sponge bar, and the sponge bar is on the bottom of your machine, and it just kind of helps keep tension with the little needles that come in and out. Say like your knitting machine's that long one, and so you lift it up like this. Your needles are not supposed to all fly out. That's what mine does, and I thought that was like, yes, that's what you want for your needles. You want them to be able to move. No, I did buy a new sponge bar, and I have to install that, but in order to install it, you have to take out every single needle, and there's a lot of needles. There's like over 100 needles, and I have to take them all out, put the sponge bar in, and then put all the needles back in. I think that's the theme of last year, of 2023, is I just didn't have time. The reason why I made this is because I was inspired by a Barbie that I had when I was like 4 or 5. It was like Dance Moves Barbie or something like that, and she had this pink sparkly spandex shirt. It's one of the only Barbies that I really vividly, I was trying to put vibrant and vividly together, and it just wasn't working for me. I don't know where the Barbie is now, but I particularly remember that shirt. I made this one here. This is also a Hexagon sweater that's a t-shirt version. I think this looks pretty good. Maybe not with the red, but here we are. This one was actually pretty easy to do. It's a lot simpler than doing the full sleeves. And what I did for that, if you watch the video, is when you're doing the hexagon, it's 6 sides. So the one side that I knew was the sleeve here, I put 2 stitch markers. So I know I stop there, go around, stop, go back, stop, instead of like, you know, continue going in a circle. So that's how I got the sleeves to be short. I also did this cute little collar. Kinda wish I made it like a little bit shorter. I think it should have like maybe stopped there. That's my problem, is either I make things too short or too long. Maybe I'll add some buttons to it, but for the most part, I wore this like just with a plain t-shirt underneath. Okay, so this car one, I still haven't attached this, okay? I know, I'm sorry. I don't know, it just looked weird if it was too high, it looked weird if it was too low. Again, I don't know if I have to do starch or something just to get them a nice crisp pointed collar. Anyways, this is the car sweater. This is a 1989 Chevy Capri car. Also the car that I learned how to drive in. Have it on the front, and I have it on the back. Now with this sweater here, what ended up happening is that I think I had made it just a little bit too small, and the reason why is because the last sweater I had made, this one, I was basing it off the dimensions on this, and I shouldn't have, because that is a half double stitch, and a half double stitch I feel has a little bit more movement to it, whereas a single crochet is very like more dense. It's the only way I really can describe it. But because of that, it is slimmer, and I would have rathered it a little bit wider because right here is just a little too close to me. I want it to be further out. Put a lot of time and effort into making this, and I just feel upset that I don't care for the fit of it as much. Maybe once I get this collar done, I'll feel more comfortable. Maybe I have to wear it with like a dress or like a skirt or something like that instead of like baggy pants. I don't know. There's like a lot of things that go through my mind when like trying to put an outfit together, and if it just doesn't work out, I get frustrated and then I don't wear it. Maybe I'll just add some side panels because I've given up and I want to wear it. We'll see. This one here is actually a thrift flip. I thrifted this blanket because I thought the colors were just gorgeous, and part of me was like, oh, I'll just take a photo of it, I'll buy the yarn, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna find these yarns because look at these colors. Sure, they make yarn these colors, but they're not exactly these colors. Instead of me going out and trying to find new yarn that looks like this, I just bought the blanket and cut it up. What I ended up doing was just cutting the blanket into the pieces, and then I attached them together, made the cuffs, and I made the ribbing up here, and I made the ribbing down here. I made it a little too long, and what was so weird is when I was like dry fitting it on, that's not the word, but when I had it like up and I'm like, okay, this could work, but it looks a little bit short, I'll add one. And then once I added it, what I didn't realize is that the whole sweater gets weighed down. Like once everything's connected, it's a little heavy. It drags down a little bit more. I didn't take that into account when I put them together. So what I really wish I would have done is had the sweater like that. That would have just been so much better. I would wear it a lot more if it was that size. You might be thinking, Michelle, you could just take it apart and redo it. The only reason I haven't done that yet is because I put ribbing on it. And the ribbing starts here, goes all the way around, and then all the way around the bottom. So I would have to take a lot of the ribbing off. Like the bottom ribbing, I guess. But then I have to cut it, and then I gotta redo the ribbing, and it's just a whole thing, and I don't have the time for it right now. Like I mentioned earlier, this is my favorite crocheted item of 2023. I love this. I love the colors. I love the ripple stitch. I love the fit of it. I love everything about it. Only thing that bothers me is that I don't know what the front is and what the back is. Put it on, I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel comfortable. I'll move it around and I'll be like, this also doesn't feel right. So I really don't know what the front and back is. I need to buy labels and put my name on it and put them on the back of each sweater so I remember what the front and back is. I absolutely love this stitch, and the colors are just so beautiful together. Like, oh, this is like one of my favorite things ever. Like, this is my favorite crocheted item that I made all of last year. And yes, I know, I made a Demogorgon head. It's down there. That was amazing. But I don't wear it every day for obvious reasons. I want to make all the colors, okay? I want a yellow one, I want a green one, I want a blue one. Ooh, a red one would also look really good, but I think a green one is like something that I really want to make. But again, because I like to put new videos out, I'm always trying to make something new and exciting instead of making the same thing over again. So maybe when I have some time, I'll just start it because it is literally the easiest project ever. It's just a little boring because it's the same stitch over and over and over again. You just have to make 4 squares technically and sew them together, and you're done. Like, it's really simple. I honestly think that this is probably my favorite thing, like favorite top. I think out of anything, I always just make crochet tops. This is like my favorite thing I've ever crocheted. This one here, which I keep forgetting I made because I don't wear it a lot. So this is the project that I made with the squares my Oma had made and that I was just sitting on for such a long time and didn't know what to do with. I figured it out. I also made my own squares. All these dark blue ones I made. Some of the white ones I did make as well, and I'm so surprised I actually found a color that almost like matches it because it's not a white, it's an off-white. This white one I didn't make, but this one I did make. Do you feel like it is a little oversized? When I mean a little oversized, I mean really oversized. But I had to kind of make do with what I had because since my Oma had made the squares, she set the tone of this sweater in the fact that I had to just replicate the same size. I don't think I would have made these squares as big. I would have made them a little bit smaller. It was either I make the sweater too small for me to wear or this size. There was no really in between. And sure, I could have made my squares smaller, but then like attaching them all together would have been kind of weird. You know, I mean, it could have been more patchwork, but then that would have mean more like brain power, and I was not in the mood for that. So I made this like right before October, and that's when I made all the Halloween projects, and so my mind was more focused on those than this. But really cozy, I do like it. It's just one of those things where I just kind of forget about, but I should definitely wear it more. I do like the oversized look. I think it looks cute, and I also think it's because it's more blue. Well, the whole thing is, you know, cool tones. Don't know how to wear it yet because I don't wear a lot of cool tones. I'm slowly getting into them. I'm slowly getting into it. But I do like my warm tones. How did I not do that yet? I haven't woven in the ends yet. I made this back in October. It is the middle of January. This is the Halloween sweater I made this year. It's just the front, nothing on the back. This pattern is on Patreon if y'all are interested. I kind of figured out by this point how to do the collars. Of course, I don't know what this is. Some yarn hanging that I have to like weave in. Nothing yet. I actually had a lot of trouble with this moon. Down here you can kind of see it's a little straight, and then it kind of does like the curve, and that took me so long to figure out. It was very trial and error. It's a pretty cute sweater. I had this idea to make this like in the springtime of last year, and then when I finally got to make it, I was so excited. And then I didn't really get a chance to wear it because it kind of got cold. I had a really cool coat that I bought that I thrifted, and I wanted to wear that a lot. Another thing that I kind of wish I had done, but again, I'm in Canada. We do not get cool yarn, okay? We do not get the cool yarn. But I really wanted green glow-in-the-dark yarn, green and spooky in the day, but if I wore it at nighttime, it would glow. But I also do have, it's called Fabric Medium, and my sister lent me some glow-in-the-dark paint. If you mix them together, I could paint the windows and then they'll glow in the dark. I need to test that to make sure it works before I do anything to this sweater. So maybe next year, paint the windows glow in the dark. That would be pretty fun. Okay, what do we got here? This one here I made early November, late October, and this is the pattern by Dorothy Jean Crochet. It's so cute. I love the colors I picked. Problem, it's not a big problem. It's just a little problem that I have to deal with, and I haven't done it yet. I just don't like how wide I made it because I couldn't really figure it out for my sizing. I like things a little oversized, but I might have made it a little too oversized, but I did try making it not oversized. It just didn't work out for me because I like my arms, this part here, to be as far away from my body as possible, because if it's like right here, it's just uncomfortable and I won't wear it. I was going to do like just one of these little, like, you know, see the peaks? I was just going to do one of them. It was going to be way too small, and so I did two. What I should have done, 1.5. I know I need to block it, but sometimes acrylic yarn just doesn't take blocking the way I want it to. So it kind of does like this. I loved the bottom and how it's like this zigzag pattern. But what I think I'm gonna have to do is maybe put some ribbing on the bottom just to like give it a little bit more shape. But overall, the pattern was super fun to use. I really love these colors. I love how it turned out. It's just this part right here, I gotta figure something out. It is a little difficult to get on over my head. So this here is the mom sweater from Animal Crossings. I made it as my birthday sweater. For my birthday, I like to gift myself a crochet present, even though I have to work on it and pay for it and all that stuff. But yeah, this year I made this here. It is, like I mentioned, the sweater from Animal Crossings, and then I actually did the back as well. On the Animal Crossing one, I believe it was 3 squares by 3 squares, and then that just wouldn't have been enough. I need more material than 3 by 3. So what I ended up doing is I made it 4 by 3, and I added 3 new color squares. So these are actually as accurate as I can possibly get to the picture. And then I added some new ones in here. I don't remember which ones I added. I think I added this one here just to make some more room, but I also did it with the same color scheme that was already going on here. So if there was already a color, I just added it to the new squares that I made. This one is tied for second. This one here is tied with this one because this one is just so recognizable. I mean, if you play Animal Crossing, you'll recognize it. But this one is just so fun and vibrant, and that's why it's kind of tied, because that one is amazing, but this one's also amazing.
This room's nice. This room's nice too.
And I can't really figure out which one I like more. It might be this one, but then other days it's the other one. Also, this one here, once I get it on, it's very hard to get off. It gets stuck on my head. Last one of the year. These I did not sew in, and so they're just dangling, and I put it in my pocket. This is the Christmas one. This also, I have a pattern on my Patreon, playing on the back. And what I love about this one is not knowing, I also made another Animal Crossing sweater. This one has one more point than the tree one. The one in Animal Crossing has 3, this has 4. Part of me wants to take all the Christmas tree stuff off, and then I can just have a cute little pine tree sweater. And I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I didn't do it yet. And thank goodness, because obviously I need to show you this for the video. But I think I'm gonna take all this stuff off because Christmas is over, and what I had thought of after the fact, when I put all this, and it was like the day that I was filming the outro and it was too late, buy a bunch of brooches, light brooches. I know some brooches are very heavy, maybe buy like 1 or 2 heavy ones, but the rest like very light plasticky kind of ones, and just decorate the whole tree with brooches, like Christmas brooches. So that's why I'm kind of okay with taking all this stuff off. Also, these, it's just this little battery pack, and it has a bunch of different settings on it. I didn't sew them in so they can just all be unplugged, and next year I can just plug them all back in again with a bunch of brooches. So I think that's the thing. Also, when I wore this to work, so I still have a part-time job, and I wore it to work, and this lady kept badgering me to buy it from me. She kept saying, oh, can I buy it from you? And then I'm just like, oh no, it took me a really long time to make. And she's like, you can make another one. You are talented enough to make yourself another one. I'm not. Can I buy it from you? I don't have the time to make them for other people. But also, if you were to see the inside of these things, they're not pretty. And I'm okay with that. I can live with that. But I don't want to sell something or give something to someone else and they're like, why is it a mess inside? That's how it is. So I think that's every sweater or top that I have made in 2023. That is a lot. Going forward in 2024, I think I want to make different projects. Like, I still want to make my tapestry crochet projects. I still like sweaters, but I think I'm going to try to dabble more into maybe some vests instead of sweaters. I think maybe some more tote bags. Like, this is a tote bag. I'm going to try to do different crochet things this year. Maybe not make as many sweaters because I've got a lot of sweaters. That does it for this video. If you're new to my channel, like sewing, thrifting, crafting, and of course, crocheting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can follow me on my Instagram, my TikTok, and of course, if you want any of these patterns, go check out my Patreon. It is $5 a month Canadian for patterns and vlogs, and I actually do have a separate tier on my channel now that is $2 Canadian just for vlogs. So check that out. Yeah, so y'all have a good day now.